Greetings, one and all. Thank you for coming along to this wonderful evening. We're going to have a wonderful session tonight. Thank you all that came along to Brother Andrew's show on Tuesday. It was a brilliant show. Again, much love for all that is joining us for the first time. I wish you all a great evening. You're going to find it much pleasure, entertaining and informing. I have got another great slideshow for you all. This is going to be another PDF that I will give at the end of the show so you can get into the knowledge a bit more for yourselves. But we are going to be diving into some deep waters today. We are going to be opening up a vortex of information. We're going to be sticking on the Prana theme. So without further delay, because it's a big one. Let me get this going. Lovely. So last week we was talking about prana, the basis of the life force behind life, the life force in the primordial form, the life force that gives life to all forces, all dynamics, all energy, every aspect of being. Prana, you see, you hear, you talk, sense, think, feel, will, know, everything, your whole aspect of being is prana, giving you the ability to do this. The breath, directed by thought under the control of the will, is a vitalizing, regenerating force which you can utilize consciously for self-development, including for healing many ailments, disorders, and diseases in the body, for healing others, and for many more purposes. So when you have this chi of prana in you, you can direct it through your mind. You can use it in so many abundant ways for the purpose of self-healing, self-elevating, self-maximizing, expanding. Prana is your best friend. It's everything. I'm so excited about tonight's show. This is going to be some really. So let's go to some basic biology so we can understand how much air is working on our behalf, just as we know air to be. The lungs, the organs of respiration, consist of two lungs, one on either side of the chest, and air passages that lead to them. They are located in the upper thoracic cavity of the chest, one on either side of the median. They are separated by each other by the heart. The greater blood vessels and the larger air tubes, that's what separates them. The lungs are spongy porously and their tissues are very elastic. The substance of the lungs contains innumerable air sacs, which contain air. So basically, when you're taking in air, the amount of air, what it has to do to vitalize the whole body, that air is doing so much in the lungs in terms of replenishing the blood, replenishing the whole digestive system. It's the air sacs of the lungs, when spread out over an unbroken surface, would cover an area of 140,000 square feet. That's a lot of air sac. That's like, what is going on inside when I take in all this prana that's giving me this charge? It's taken in. So the air sacs, they have these little vessels in them that contain little nerve endings. The nerves are made up of two types. Here's a little breakdown of the pulmonary circulation. The lungs assist in purifying the blood. The blood starts in its artery journey, bright red and rich, laden with life-giving qualities and properties. The lungs are made out of biological tissue, and there are billions of chemical reactions occurring in nearly 8 billion individual cells that manufacture and transform its own chemical reactions. So this life-giving energy behind, again, I just want you to be able to appreciate what each breath of air is doing. It's doing so much programming for your vital well-being, just on that intake of breath, what it does for you for replenishing your whole entire being. The blood takes up oxygen and releases carbonic acid gas generated from the waste products and poisonous matter. So the blue veins, as you see on the picture, is the stuff that's bringing all the poisons and the toxics from the body. You're taking your breath. There's a replenishing of oxygen that goes to re-liven the blood, regenerate a new form of energy that will give you a new lease of life. The purified blood is carried by the 4 pulmonary veins to the left auricle and thence to the left ventricle. It is estimated that in a day, 35,000 pints of blood traverses from the capillaries to the lungs for purification. 35,000. That's a lot of work. The whole universe. So now we're going to jump back over to Prana. The whole universe is composed of 2 natural elements, one of which they call Akash. It is the omnipresent, all-penetrating existence. Everything that has form, everything that is the result of combination is evolved out of this Akash. It is the Akash that becomes the air, that becomes the liquids, that becomes the solids. It is the Akash that becomes the sun, the earth, the moon, the stars, the comets. It is the Akash that becomes the human body, the animal body, the plants, every form that we see, everything that can be sensed, everything that exists. It's pure pranic energy in the form that it changes for manifestation, for growth, for expansion. Everything is but a manifestation of the Akash. The Akash, you can look at the Akash as the element and the prana as the energy. By what power is this Akash manufactured into this universe? By the power of prana. Just as Akash is the infinite omnipresent material of the universe, the material of the universe, so is this prana, the infinite omnipresent manifesting power of the universe. It's the energy. At the beginning and at the end of a cycle, everything becomes Akashic. It comes back to the form. And all the forces that are in the universe resolves back into prana. Prana evolves into everything that we call energy, everything that we call force. It is the prana that is manifesting as motion. It is the prana that is manifesting as gravitation, as magnetism. It is the prana that is manifesting as actions in the body, as the nerve currents, as thought. So prana is the ability in man. Prana is the ability, the functioning ability. Okay, it's the energy. When there was neither naught nor naught, when darkness was covering darkness, what existed then? The Akashic material. The physical motion of the prana was stopped, but it still existed at the same time. So this is what happens after great cycles. when everything come to a cease, come to an end. Okay, if you wish to understand the universe, think of it as energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in the universe is vibrating. Every single thing you put, if you can put even sound to this to measure, you can hear there's a vibration to everything. I take a drink of water. Too excited. So we are coming across a great part here now. Everything in the universe vibrates. And it has, in that space, a universal language in that vibration. What is vibration frequency? Everything in the universe is energy. This is the same prana energy. All of this energy vibrates on different frequencies. So it's just like every person has their own vibration. You can tell somebody when they carry bad vibes. You can tell somebody when somebody carry good vibes. You can pick up the vibration of people. The vibration of light is the highest vibration. The higher your vibration, the closer you are to light's vibration. So when we're charging up our pranic energy, like I said, for those who didn't see last week's slideshow, basically before the pranic energy, we're very flat, we're very dull. There's no energy that's expounding from us. And it's because we're burnt out, we've had a long week, it's been tiring, it's been draining, and it's very hard to come to that place to just recharge. So this is a great opportunity for us to all get together and recharge. And in that recharging, we're recharging the whole entirety of our inner and external being, our consciousness, our glow, our bliss, our state of happiness, our state of health within, our state of realignment. And again, we're turning on so many lights. It's all like the colors of the rainbows within us are just lighting up. We're becoming really magnificent in our glow from the inner realm. And in that, it turns into an attraction itself. It's a power within itself. So, you know, hopefully that what we can all get from this is if we can just say to ourselves, okay, every day, man, I got just take a little time out to breathe and tapping into a higher vibration that is in with myself, and master that relationship, the amount of change that it will do for you in your life, it will just shed away so many ideologies of obstacles and challenges. It puts you on a path of least resistance. So let's move on, because I know it's a time of run. So the vibration of Om. Om is called the Pranava, is the original word of power. So now, this is a new thing, this is a new language. We don't know nothing about Om. We never see this in the Bible or nothing. This is going see, the Bible starts from a period of time, and I know they said in the beginning, it starts from references in the beginning, but again, this was quoted in reference to the writers of the time that they were writing. This goes way back. We're going at least 20,000 years. Man was man. Man was, you know, we're talking about Kemetic times. We're talking about the constructions of Egyptian times before it was overtaken. So this is not a surprise to myself in terms of even, you know, if I look back at the history of even Jesus studied in India. Jesus studied in Himalayan areas, and he went to Tibet with the Tibetan monks, and he studied there also. So this is, you know, and even Jesus said, boy, I can't even tell you everything when we know, because we just have to show you what we can understand. But time has passed, and I think it's time for us to start grasping onto greater concepts of knowledge that will bring about fulfilling. We're not dissing any other knowledge. This is empowering all aspects of our faith and our beliefs and our constructs. So don't be afraid of certain things when you're seeing, okay, what's this Sanskrit thing where am I talking about now? Now, this was our, again, one of our original languages that, you know, even the 7 seals of Solomon, one of them was in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is very much a part of our history, and we should claim and learn from what we can from it. So, the sacred Om, or Om, is the root of all mantras. Om is in all the sounds. So it's like it even sound a little African to me. Om. But yeah, everything is vibrating. Everything have a vibration. Everything is humming. It contains all the sounds in the world. This sound, it's above language in terms of it being owned by any language. This is in Tibetan, Sanskrit, Hinduism, Chinese philosophy. This is in Islam, Vedic, Sufism. This is in this mantra, it's everywhere. In the Bible, we talk of omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. It's everywhere. It doesn't have a descriptive claim to say it comes from any one language. It's a universal sound where on all esoteric levels of education, it has been as an accepted norm that the sound is a sacred sound that belongs to all, not just one race or one set of people, every people, because we all come from the one. It's a one thing we are dealing with, you understand? So we're looking at it from a deeper concept and a wider concept, so we can embrace the goodness for what we can find in it and for us. In Sanskrit text, the sound and the form of Om is the same as God. The Rig Vedas say, in the beginning was Brahman, with whom was the Word, and the Word was truly the supreme Brahman. The Bible says something similar. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now, it doesn't mean to say it was the name of God, but it was God. That instructing word that brings everything into power, into being, is above, again, language. Okay, it's a sound that brings all sounds into action. Okay, this is the power of the word Om in how it is related to in all esoteric knowledges and all esoteric forms. So we have to take it on a non-biased principle, and that's the only way we're going to learn to accept and move on to greater things more than what we know. So the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali also states that the Om is God. The sacred word designated this creative source is the sound Om, is known as Prana. This sound is remembered with deep feeling for the meaning of what it represents. From the remembering comes the realization of the individual self and the removal of obstacles, just like I was saying earlier. So this mantra, this sound, Om, it's not something that you have to go bail out now in the middle of, me have to start go, there's benefits to that, but you don't have to do that. The greatest discipline in any spiritual practice is the one that's done with the mind, because the mind is the one that you're trying to really control and bring to a place of peace. So this is something that you can do with your mind. It doesn't have to be something you do with your physical mouth. Just doing it with your mind is just as powerful. Yeah, so you can literally go Om in your mind. Just to share with you, I actually found a Kemetic Om. I'm not even going to burn time, but it's there on YouTube and it sounds so powerful. There's a group of people, or maybe it's a guy that's done the recording, but it's called Om Kemetic Chanting or something like that. I downloaded it. It sounds absolutely powerful. So like I'm saying, if you want to just listen to it, it has influence. If you want to just say it in your mind, it has powerful influence. And in saying it in your mind, you know that you're keeping your mind still, because all aspects of meditation, if there isn't a little ideology of keeping the mind still, then you're not really meditating. Yeah. So these are great universal tools that we're looking at embracing and learning and implementing in our days of secret to ourselves. You understand? It's not something that we will have to. So this is something that I'm sharing with you for you to get a greater understanding of the power that is. The Om has 4 parts. The first is the A, which sounds like A in Father R, and is pronounced in the throat, which is with the mouth wide open. It is fairly short. The second part is the U part. So in its pronunciation, it's like oh, oh, so oh. And it's in that space of silence now. That is considered the 4th state. The first being the A, which is short, which represents the energy of consciousness being shifted from everyday reality, drawing it back into sort of a dream-like state, yeah, which is another sheath of the conscious making of the body. And then it brings you to the M, which is like a deep sleep-like state. And then when you reach that place of silence where nothing is nothing and all is now relative to just the soul. So this is like a vehicle that takes the whole of your energy and your being into centralizing into you and you and your soul. It takes you into your inner being, to that inner place, that inner vortex, that inner paradise. So here it shows down the relevancy of the symbol Om in terms of the states that I just mentioned. The unconscious state, meaning your wakeful state. Hold on, let's get this right. So the unconscious, the waking, the dreaming, the illusion, which is all set up by the energy, which is known by Maya, and the absolute state. So again, you can all get this on a download. So mastering the flow of prana. This is the picture that I related to last week. You're taking in that breath, you're taking in that energy, you're refilling, you're charging. The lower energy is what stores the prana. The green area is where you see there's an activation of prana that's being used. And then the light energy is the expression of prana. That round hue, the hue of the red, is like the raw prana in its raw state. So when you're breathing it in, it's coming in that kind of color. And as soon as it hits your being, there's programs ready for it to instruct that prana exactly what to do on the behalf of your intention of being, to support your next ideology of manifestation. And this is done through 5 areas with Panchamaha Prana. So this is where the A is broken down into 5 sections. And these 5 sections then go into the 7 main chakras. So the first, the Apana Vayu, goes and distributes its energy over the first 2 chakras, and similar so till you get to the top one, which feeds the top 2 chakras. I think there's okay. So the Sanskrit word for Vayu translates as wind. and the root va translates to that which flows. So these are the 5 main areas where on that intake, the prana goes and shoots off into 5 shoots, 5 different aspects of your being that brings you to life in every moment. Here again, this breaks down all the kind of areas that it deals with, from your auric being. If you look here on the left side, you'll see where the lines are showing outwards in that sort of gray area. That is the Vyana Vayu. That's like it flows all over your body. That's represented by water. The green area, that's prana. That's the color of the prana as it hits from the red, as it hits to you. It turns into a sort of greeny, goldy hue, and it's stored there because that's where it's churning and sending. So the energy flows down the lower chakra, which is the pelvic area. That's apana energy. Samana energy, this is where all courage and everything is taking place, and action. So before that is the apana area, which deals with security and solidness of being. So let's see. Again, here's another breakdown of the pancha prana, the 5 elements and how they break down into different areas. Here's a chart, if you will. Again, on the far right is the chakras, and on the far left is the vayus, which is where the distribution of the energies flow. So the apana expression of prana, it deals with procreation, self-identity, and self-esteem. The lower part is the lower chakra, which is groundedness and survival, the base of the spine, the root. As it goes up, it deals with samana, which is the navel area, power, control, achievement. Vyana, which is the heart area, love, immunity, heart area, unstuck, flowing with good energy. You're reaching a place of unconditional love. You're trusting, and all of these things. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the state of how people are being turned into in this pandemic, but we could leave that and move on. So again, as we see, as the prana purifies, udana, communication, will, thought area purified. This is good thoughts, this is good feelings, this is good intentions that you're giving out to people. And as it reaches the mind, it crystallizes into intuition between the eyes. This is the third eye. And then finally, cosmic prana. This is all when the prana is being crystallized in the body in stored energy, it's known as a thing called ojas. This is something that I will go into next week. But this week, we're just keeping it simple and just breaking down some ideologies for you to get to on a Sanskrit Vedic level to understand what prana is doing, how it feeds into our whole structure of being, and how to get the most of it in our thought, have a different relationship with the air that we breathe. Okay, so this is the 7 chakras and their meanings. I think if we go into this one, we can, yeah. So this is the root chakra, color red, base of the spine, 4 petals square with a downward facing triangle, represents safety, security, stability, and foundation. Bloodstone, tiger's eye, hematite, fire agate, black tourmaline. Imbalances, attributes, scattered energies, anxiety, and fear. Now, the Wolawe has been experiencing this during this thing, and we can say that, you know, part of this breathing thing that we're doing, it needs to help, especially in this area of ridding our bodies of this anxiety feeling that we're caught up in, and that's been propagated on us, either if it's through the news, if it's through, you know, we know a loved one that's died and stuff. We have to build up a whole new level of vibrancy in our being that connects us to groundedness. So the next one up, it goes to the color orange, location below the navel. Imbalance, lack of or repressed creativity, sexual dysfunction, withheld intimacy, and emotional isolation. So you're being withdrawn. You're not communicating with the world. You're isolating yourself. You're finding yourself crammed in. It's all about alienation. You don't want to share nothing with nobody. You want to keep keeping things to your things. And the thing is, the funny thing is, the relationship that we build up with the world, it learns to express that what we really expect is what we get back. So we have to find a way to be new emperors of and empresses of a righteous way of being in our expression of life as we put out, and know that that's how it's going to come back to us. So green, the heart, the chest center, exercise. Sorry, I've just gone straight to imbalance. Excessive isolation, unforgiveness, depression, jealousy, fear of intimacy, and being overly defensive. So, you know, and it goes up, you can see, we really want to be on the good side of life. We want to really get to the side of life where we're really bouncing with joy, bouncing in the bliss, bouncing in energy, bouncing in, you know, abundance. We can't attract abundance if we don't have an abundant feeling within. So this is a section that I put together for helping to clear the lungs. Let's spend some time in cleaning up the lungs. We can purify our lungs if we're in a certain scenario, and get some things to clean up the lungs. So when we take some, it's maximizing our efficiency of changing that airflow into purifying our beings and other things. So here you're going to find some healthy foods for the lungs, and this is based on a 72-hour, 3-day scenario. So pack up your cupboard with all the healthy stuff that you need. This is about water. This shows you the necessary amount of stuff that you need for water, for your body to function. It's very important to, you know, I bought a distiller. If you can afford a distiller, get a distiller so you can wash out everything. But if not, purify the water, get a water purifier, Brit Vic one, or whatever them one they call, Brita. But yeah, drink plenty water, very important. Green tea is a very important, very good antioxidant and blood cleanser and stuff. Works well with the lungs as well. Ginger is very, very, very good. If you can get the real wild, strong ginger, the stronger the ginger, the better. And this is something you could put apricots, ginger, and apples in salads and have that over a 3-day period. Again, juices are very powerful. This juice here is of carrot juice is the base. It will help alkalize your blood. Mix it with parsley, spinach, and celery. Very powerful. On days 2 and 3, drink plenty cranberry juice, because the cranberry juice is good for flushing out all kinds of toxins in your body and stuff. So we now get to the section where we get into pranayama, the breathing exercise. So on the back of this, you'll find a link for the future shows. Right, that was good. I enjoyed that.